What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the TB Toycast YouTube channel, and today we are unboxing from AEW Jazwares in the Unmatched collection. It is the one Wheeler Yuta, and I figure I was definitely excited to get. They did do a bloody version from Ringside Collectibles at one point, but I was like, I think it's cool, but I want a regular Wheeler before I do a bloody variant, and I'm kind of glad because I think this figure is really cool. I love the blood on the gear. I mean, actually kind of wild to think that this actually happened, and it was I picked this up at Target. I remember this selling out on Ringside Collectibles and thinking, I'm never going to find it, and then ended up running into it at Target, so that was cool. Definitely excited about that. But as you can see, I believe he comes with the ROH, is that the Pure title? Yeah, which is really cool. I think getting that in figure form is pretty fun. Love the detail. Like I said, the blood splatter tights, really, really cool. Blackpool Combat Club all over him. Of course, he's got the Blackpool Combat Club shirt, Wheeler Yuta there, kind of the classic superstar style packaging there. Unmatched collection number 70 from Series 9. Pretty cool wave. Of course, Jamie Hayter, John Moxley, no stranger to the line. Alex Riddle, still haven't found that one. Don't think I will. Claudio Castagnoli, Jeff Hardy, and then, of course, the one and only Bryan Danielson. So, of course, Jeff Hardy no longer in AEW. Bryan Danielson seemingly retired from professional wrestling at this point anyway. I do have Claudio in the collection, and of course, many John Moxley figures. But yeah, Yuta kind of was one of those underneath guys that they weren't really using all that well. And he kind of joined up with the Blackpool Combat Club, easy for me to say, and has become a pretty big star with AEW, as we can see, the ROH Pure Champion at one point. Kind of weird, the Blackpool Combat Club gets their name from William Regal, who's kind of like their manager/trainer guy, and then he leaves. After about a year, goes back to the WWE, of course. Probably for the best. His son was there, so I think it worked out for him. And, I think that'll be good because we should end up with some more William Regal figures, hopefully. I know that they did a SummerSlam Build-A-Figure recently, but I would love to see, a classic William Regal kind of back in the fold. Maybe from like 2001 era, European champion, I think would be fun. I would love to see another Lord Steven Regal revisited. I think that would be really cool. But how about the one I want the most? Real Man's Man, Steven Regal. It was kind of a weird moment in time, but really, it shouldn't be hard to do. I think actually what they ought to do is a 2-in-1 of like Lord Steven Regal and the Real Man's Man, because the hair is the same. Literally, the only difference would be the clothing, because, for Lord Steven Regal, he still wore, he wore like the kind of maroon trunks, right? And then the boots and the knee pads, and then he had the jacket and kind of the thing around his neck, whatever that was. For Real Man's Man, the only difference was he had jean shorts on. He had like a shirt and like a t-shirt and then a sleeveless button-up, because, that's what you wear, and a yellow hard hat. Made no sense, but I feel like they could make that happen, and how cool would that be? I would buy two for sure. It'd be a lot of fun. So who's to say? The Legends line's getting some deep cuts. I mean, if we can get Justin Hawk Bradshaw, I think we can get Real Man's Man Steven Regal. So we'll see what happens there. Wheeler Yuta, not a lot of accessories. Does have a T-shirt, a couple extra hands, and of course the Pure title. We're going to open this bad boy up. Not a lot of AEW figures have made their way to the channel yet, but a lot of that has become because we haven't seen a lot of AEW figures lately. We'll see what happens in the future. As I record this, All In is supposed to take place, I believe, like in a week, because I'm recording this on July 4th to kind of date the channel a little bit. Get Yuta out of there. I'm not going to worry about those extra hands. So I've heard some big announcements are going to be taking place. I guess we'll know soon enough. Interesting hip joints there. I don't know if I like that too much, but it does give him good movement. Feet are a little bit stiff. Head scan, I'd say looks pretty good. Looks like Yuta. Got the title belt there. The title belt looks really good, I think. I like that. Of course, you got the Velcro on the T-shirt, which always is helping to helps to remove it and stuff. Got the plastic in there to stop the staining. A little bit annoying, but at the same time, I think it's a good thing, because if it stops the staining, then I think ultimately that is a winner. Of course, these figures pop apart if you don't know. So, if you own the bloody Wheeler Yuta, I believe he had different pants on. I'll put a picture up here. You could actually do him in, as I hit the camera, you can do him with the different pants if you wanted to. Kind of make it your own type of thing. So I think that's pretty cool. I'll throw it on the ground first. But I think these are fun figures. I've always liked the AEW figures. I think they get a little bit of hate. Some of it may be warranted, but I don't think it all is. I think they're pretty good for what they are. I think the pinned joints probably hold them back a little bit, but it is what it is. We got a big rubber band around this arm. That's no good. See if we can get that off. Holding that plastic in place. My goodness. And that just snapped me right in the finger. That did not feel good. All right. Get Yuta put back together there. Well, maybe. There we go. That little snap, that's what we like to hear. Maybe a little long neck. What do you guys think? I think it's a bit long. But I think if you have his head down, it doesn't look too bad. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. Get the feet kind of worked out a little bit. Like I said, I do like the gear. I think that's really, really cool. Clearly blood splatter. I'm kind of surprised that we do have some staining on the arm. Look at that. Even with the plastic. A little bit of staining. And then I think an issue with these, and I don't know if you can tell there, but from my vantage point, the torso, like the bottom torso and the arms are about the same color. The upper torso is a little bit different, so it's not ideal. It is what it is. These are toys, but that's always going to be kind of an issue. Let's see if we can you guys tell? You probably can there. Just a little bit different, and it's not horrible, but it's not dead on either. But it is what it is. This Wheeler Yuta figure is pretty cool, though. I don't have too many complaints other than like some of the basic ones I made. And like I said, I think Jazwares, for the most part, is doing their best to get us the guys we want. I think they could do a little bit better. I'm pretty sure like when they did the Ethan Page figure, he had already, by the time it got out, he was already in WWE. That's something they can control, but we've certainly gotten our share of guys like John Moxley and Orange Cassidy and guys like that. I love getting Wheeler Yuta. I think that's awesome. I know Willow Nightingale's got a figure coming up. I think that's awesome. Other characters like that. This belts are the worst to put on. That's close enough, I would say. I would like to get more characters that we don't have that we need. I think that would be cool. I have still to unbox. I have the Guns, and I have a Black Machismo Jay Lethal to unbox. I have a Kyle O'Reilly to unbox. And I want to get that the Switchblade Jay White. I'd like to pick that up at some point and get those all unboxed because I think it's cool to get different figures. The Surfer Sting I have not seen. I'm not holding my breath on it, but I guess we'll see what happens. I saw the other day that the U2's line, which is kind of a Funko Pop-esque line, announced a Big Boom AJ, Big Justice, and the Rizzler 3-pack of figures. Do you think we're going to see those guys from Jazwares? I feel like it's going to happen. That's the most ridiculous thing ever, but I also think it's one of the smartest things ever because I want a Rizzler figure. I'm not going to lie. I think that kid is hilarious, and getting him in figure form I think will be huge. Big Boom AJ and Big Justice don't necessarily do a lot for me, but I think that Rizzler figure will do pretty well. Again, we'll see what happens. I've heard they are under an AEW contract, so I think they're fair game. And that U2's line is an AEW product, and we also know that they've got figures from, was it Upper Deck, I think that does, cards from Upper Deck, and the Rizzler got a micro brawler a while back, so I would say it's definitely possible. We're gearing up for San Diego Comic-Con. As we all know, it's at the tail end of July, and usually that's a time when we get a lot of announcements and a lot of things in the pipeline, kind of like, oh, okay, that's coming, oh, okay, this is coming, and so I could see that being something that's announced in the next several weeks, so we'll see what happens. But Yuta's a cool figure. He's a fun addition to the line. I'm glad to have him. I think a couple of things could be a little bit better. The staining is what it is because that's kind of a Jazwares signature at this point. I think the deco and the gear looks great. The shirt's awesome. The belt's awesome. And the figure itself, there's some issues, of course, but overall, it's not bad. I don't dislike it at all. And getting Yuta in the line, I think, is a cool thing. So, give us more Jazwares. Give us more AEW figures. I hope it doesn't fold up. I do know AEW is probably not their most profitable toy line at this point, but I think a lot of that is, a lot of these figures you don't see a lot on the pegs. I don't know about you guys, but I tend to see a lot of the same guys all the time, and while that can be good, give us some new guys. The Walmart exclusives tend to clog up the pegs like crazy. So Hopefully some more new characters start popping up in the line. I think I'm trying to think of some examples right now. But, there's a lot of guys in AEW, and I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest AEW fan anymore. I feel like I've kind of fallen out of it. But there's a lot of guys they have that I would like to see in figure form. So we'll see what happens. I know we're getting a new Christian Cage. How about a Nick Wayne? That would be an interesting one. I'd like to see him in the line at some point. And so many others. And there's a lot of variants that I think would have been money. I still say a CM Punk, Darby Allin, Sting 3-pack with the face paint would have been a license to print money. I think everybody would have picked that up that's an AEW fan, and that didn't happen. There's a lot. I know that Edge or Adam Copeland, Darby Allin, and Sting all teamed up on a pay-per-view one time, and Adam Copeland, Edge donned the face paint. Again, those moments in time, give that to us. That's what we want to see. So I guess time will tell on that. But what do you guys think? Yuta, is he a pass? Is he a pickup? What do you guys think? I think it's a cool figure. Could be a little bit better, but I'm glad to have it in the collection for sure. So let me know in the comments down below. Do you like the AEW Jazwares line? Are you just not an AEW fan? Because sometimes that happens. Or is there so much out on the market right now you just don't have time to buy it? Let me know in the comments down below one way or another. And also let me know what you're collecting, because I always want to know what everyone's into at this day and age. And also, I know sometimes after a line's been out a while, much like the AEW Jazwares line, which is going on, 5-6 years now? Sometimes your interest gets lost and you dive into other things. Like, ooh, I want to go into Star Wars. I want to go into Transformers. I want to go into Big Rubber Guys. I want to go into DC Multiverse. Sometimes your opinions change, as we do know. But that's pretty much it. Make sure to check out my other unboxings. I'm doing 3 unboxings every single week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So check that out. I believe last week on Monday I dove into Epic Toys Boris Zukov, which was kind of a fun one. I also dove into, on Wednesday, a Total Justice Aquaman. That was kind of fun, a nice retro figure. And then on Friday, a new one, Star Wars, the Black Series, the Holiday Purge Trooper. If you like the holiday figures, those are always a lot of fun. Check that out as well. Check out What's on the Pegs every Saturday. And then, of course, Tales of the Toy Box, dropping new episodes every month. The last episode, episode 3, was all about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Series 1. Really, really fun stuff. Episode 4 is going to be a good one, too. I think you're going to want to check that out as well. And, of course, the TV Toycast podcast dropping every Thursday. Me and Travis talking all things news and toys that are things that are happening in the toy world, plus a different main event covering a retro toy line. So check that out as well. Thank you all very much for checking out the TV Toycast YouTube channel. That's Wheeler Yuta of the Blackpool Combat Club. Did I say it right that time? Holy crap. And we will see you in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shot.